Now, we got two people on your screen. One's obviously more handsome than the other. We have the man on the left. He's a Pure Gym personal trainer. I'd be mortified if he actually saw this video. He says that the reason, right, why you're overweight is because you are overeating and you need to eat less calories. And the man on the right, who is in this case myself, says that the reason why you're overweight is because you have a metabolic health problem. Let's follow the guy on the left's advice, right? So the first thing that you do after he tells you that you're overeating is that you eat less calories. That makes sense, right? You're going by what he said, you're going by his logic, you just start eating less. However, you cut your calories and then you shortly find that you still can't lose the extra stubborn bit of body fat. So what do? You cut your calories again to the point where you are eating next to nothing. Now, this is a vicious circle, okay? And you've probably done this X amount of times before you come to the conclusion that you have a slow metabolism, right? Which comes back to my original point of you have a metabolic health problem. What you're going to find out about these two statements is that the one on the left is actually just simply a byproduct of the one on the right. This is the equivalent, okay, of having a bath that's overrunning, and instead of turning the tap off, which is fixing the problem at hand, you decide to grab a mop and bucket first and start cleaning up the water that's overspilled from the bath already. So now that we're on the same page, we want to start fixing this issue that you have with your metabolic health. And these are the things which are causing that metabolic health issue. A down-regulation of hormones, poor sleep, poor nutrition, unhealthy habits, fast food, inflammation within the body, and erratic blood sugar. So there's so many other things, right, which cause the metabolic health issue, but we're just going to categorize them under these few things here. So we know that to fix your metabolic health issue, we need to actually fix these things right here. Once we fix these things, that's how you then fix your metabolic health issue, and then you're no longer going to be overweight. You'll find that you have metabolic flexibility, and you'll find that you can get yourself in shape fairly straightforward, without feeling over hungry and overeating. And one thing people don't realize is that overeating and feeling hungry is simply just poor hormonal responses from your body. You've got two hormones, okay? Leptin and ghrelin. Ghrelin is the hunger signaling hormone, and leptin is the opposite. Leptin will tell your body when it's full. When your hormones aren't firing the way you want them to, you'll find that your hunger goes through the roof, right? Your ghrelin goes up, and you don't feel satisfied, so your leptin comes down. We strike a healthy balance of that, and you're not going to be struggling to overeat. So the things that we actually need to be doing in order to fix this issue are these things right here. A lot of these are going to seem dead straightforward, but a lot of people neglect them and only focus on maybe one or two. If we can focus on every single one of them, I promise you are never going to be overweight again in your life. Sleep. Sleep is an absolute foundation. We need to be making sure that we're getting 7 to 9 hours of deep, high quality sleep. We all know somebody that does not stop going on about the fact that they only sleep 5-6 hours a night. Is that person healthy? Do they look healthy? 99% of the time, absolutely not. They look sleep deprived, they're probably overweight, they're probably complaining about how shit and tired they feel all the time. This needs to become a non-negotiable. Just like how you wouldn't cheat on your diet, don't cheat on your sleep. Your sleep is massive. You want to follow a low inflammatory diet. Okay, that sounds confusing. It's absolutely not. To do that, we're going to follow pretty much the fundamentals of an animal-based diet. This isn't complicated. Cut out the processed food. Eat more whole foods. Eat things that come from the ground and eat things that walk on the ground. Not a protein bar or like one of those protein yogurts. They do taste good. The less inflammation you have in your body, the better upregulation of hormones you're going to have, the better you're going to feel. The better your body's going to move, the more energy you're going to have. Everything's going to increase. Your metabolism's going to increase. Your metabolic health's going to increase. We want to use fat as our primary fuel source. This doesn't mean cut out carbohydrates. We still want to use carbohydrates to help our performance in the gym. However, for day-to-day activity, fat is going to be your best friend, because what fats allow us to do is use less carbohydrates and keep our blood sugars more stable. The better stability you have with your blood sugars, not only are you going to feel better and more energized throughout the day, but you're going to become more insulin sensitive. Insulin is the hormone that shuttles carbohydrates in the form of glucose to the cells within the body. Over time, this process becomes impaired. You become what we call insulin resistant. In simple terms, okay, the more insulin resistant you are, the higher chance you've got of storing them carbohydrates directly as fat. That's why we want to keep ourselves as insulin sensitive as possible. To do that, we're going to use fat as our primary fuel source. You're going to feel amazing doing this. You want to progressively get stronger and fitter over time. You want to reduce unhealthy habits. If you smoke, I'd probably try and cut that out. Alcohol, just reduce it, don't cut it out. Increase your movement, increase sunlight and decrease blue light. More natural sun if you can. If not, I would actually recommend getting a sunbed. I do think they're good for you in moderation. Decrease the amount of light you get from your phone. These things are doing no good for you. That also then links in with getting high quality sleep, because the more sunlight you get, the less blue light you have, the better quality sleep you're going to have. Your circadian rhythm is going to be much more regulated. And improve your gut health. If you're bloating all the time, that is a sign of poor gut health. It's a sign of poor digestion. It's not about the foods you eat. It's not about how much you eat. It's about how much food you can digest. If a food group in particular is making you bloat, cut that food group out or experiment with it. If you're lactose intolerant, start trying to have raw Jersey milk. Try different types of Greek yogurt if that affects you as well. Again, reduce, don't cut out 0-calorie drinks. How many times have you had one of them and felt so bloated afterwards? They do no good for your gut. Again, I'm not telling you to cut these things out, but what I'm telling you is that you should definitely reduce them. Your gut is responsible for producing 90% of the serotonin in your body. Serotonin is the feel-good hormone. That is why you get that infamous saying, which is your gut is your second brain. So I could have gone into a lot more detail about every single thing on here, but I'll be here forever. But if you fix these things, you fix these issues, what's going to happen is you're not going to have this problem of being overweight, okay? You're not going to have a problem with overeating, and you're going to fix the issue in the first place, which is your metabolic health. Let's stop this overemphasis of worrying about calories and start thinking about health. The healthier you are, the better you're going to look, the better your body's going to function, the better you're going to feel. They go hand in hand.